G'day, I'm Adam Guise and I'm a current councillor on Lismore City Council, but I'm standing here with fellow candidates for the 2024 council elections coming up on September the 14th. And we're here with these fine people to announce our candidacy for the Lismore City Council elections. We've got some fine people that we're putting forward on our council ticket, with me, Adam Guise, as the lead candidate, and Vanessa Eakins, who's running as our mayoral candidate. But before I begin, I would like to acknowledge that we do stand on Aboriginal land. It's Widjabul Waible land of the Bundjalung Nation, and acknowledge that this land has never been ceded. It always has been and always will be Aboriginal land. And also in recognition that we stand beside the river on which Lismore was first founded by Europeans. We also recognise that First Nations people advised that it wasn't a sensible place to form a village, a town, and that we should have started on higher ground. So here we are standing beside the Wilsons River, which we only know too well how it's impacted our community, and here's a chance to reset and learn from the knowledge of our First Nations people. I'm here today to introduce the fellow candidates for council and Vanessa Eakins for mayor, and also let you know why I'm running for council. I've been a councillor on Lismore City Council for 8 years now, 2 terms, and am seeking to be re-elected. I'm running again because I love and care about our community. Ever since the devastating floods and landslips of 2022, our community's been suffering, and I haven't felt that there's been real leadership from the current council majority in terms of leading a community-led and just flood recovery. With so many people facing the impacts of floods and landslips and a housing crisis, what we need is leadership that involves our community, and particularly the conversation about how and where we live on the floodplain going forward. This necessarily involves long and deep consultation with all the different stakeholders in our community so that we can redesign how we live on this landscape. For me, it doesn't involve hard engineering solutions like raising the levee or building mega dams or dredging the river, which will be cost prohibitive, may take years or decades to come through to fruition, and don't actually adapt to climate change and the disaster impacts that will continue to impact our communities. And it also means redesigning our housing and building the housing we need to take our community forward. That means medium density housing for an ageing population and a population that is predominantly single and double person households. That means leveraging the resilient lands monies in order to acquire land out of flood's way and harm's way, so that we can sensibly and over time relocate our community from high risk zones to low risk areas. I'm proud to stand beside these wonderful people who are putting up their hands to stand for local government. We've got Virginia Waters as our number 2 on our council candidate. Virginia has been a stalwart member of the Nimbin and Tuntable community, leading through fire and flood and landslip recovery. She's been very instrumental in the Lismore Lantern Parade that has attracted people to our region for decades now. And she's also worked for Lismore City Council, so she knows the way things work and how to get outcomes for the community. Number 3 on our council ticket is Luke Robinson, Dr. Luke Robinson, who's an emergency physician at the Lismore Base Hospital. He knows full well the impacts of the flood and disasters have on our community, and as a resident of the Wine community is deeply embedded in his landscape and restoring his property so that we can have less of an environmental impact and mitigate against worse floods in the future. Number 4 is Shay Salmon, who's been a long stalwart of our community, involved in lots of community projects such as River FM as a radio presenter, the Lismore Theatre Company, and also an academic at SCU for some 20 years now. Shay would bring a wealth of experience to our council, and having raised 3 kids who are deeply connected to this region would bring that passion and dedication. Number 5 on our council ticket is Lyndall Watson, who is a recent newcomer to our community but embodies so much of the passion and care for our community that it's known for. With a background in education and teaching in remote and regional communities and living in the shadow of the Nimbin Rocks at Stony Shoot, Lyndall is deeply connected to our community and our country. Finally, 6 on our ticket is Binny O'Dwyer, a local lawyer working for the Aboriginal Legal Service, who has so capably and ably represented a vulnerable population and a population that has been disenfranchised for too long. Binny O'Dwyer being a local mum and lawyer and also being flood impacted has a wealth of experience and knowledge that she would bring to council life. And finally, we have Vanessa Eakins, who will be running again as our mayoral candidate. She has a long embedded history in our region, having been a Lismore City Councillor for some 20 years now, and is putting up her hand to run as mayor once again. She's been integral in our community, celebrated our creative arts and community life, and has regenerated the Wilsons River through land care for many decades now. She would bring a sense of calm, knowledge, and experience to council that is so sorely needed in terms of our thriving future going forward. I'd like to introduce now, give Virginia Waters an opportunity to speak as to why she's running for council.